There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time.
Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends, Saturday edition. 13 games on the slate today, ton of games to talk about. We'll do a quick recap of yesterday, and then we'll jump into today's slate. Should have known Pittsburgh would have no-showed after a shutout win. That was an eye bleeder of a game. I don't know how you can say that was an eye bleeder of a game. That was exciting from start to finish. Of course, the pregame ceremony with Flower, the saves Flower made. Flower stood on his head. It was a Flower masterclass, which is exactly what I wanted. Of course, I did have a half unit on the shutout, so it wasn't quite perfection, but Flower was amazing. Um, what a pregame ceremony, and I wasn't sure how that was going to affect him. But especially with being injured, not playing for a while, he came out and gave us a vintage Flower performance. So that was amazing by him. Why don't the Wild play like that every game? We'd be in the playoffs. Exactly. Players at the end of that game were blocking whatever shot. They were giving it their all. They were giving it their all to win that game for Flower. If they could do that every game, but of course you can't expect, like, they gave it literally their all, everything they possibly had to win it for Flower. And of course you can't expect human beings to do that every single night. The Rangers are frauds. I don't know about that, but Shesterkin, apparently, I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment on the goals, but apparently, two of the goals were, there wasn't anything Shesterkin could do to stop them. But the thing is that Chicago has not been scoring goals against anybody, and you give up 3 goals and almost lose that game against Chicago. So Shesterkin better get used to the bench, because I think he's going to be seeing a lot more of the bench, which is shocking. But that's goaltenders. Not all goaltenders can be consistent from year to year to year to year. And we're seeing that this year. Canes money line on Whalers night. Yes, they're wearing the Hartford Whalers jersey today. If you're betting Canes money line, though, minus 150, I believe. So that would have to be a parlay piece if you're going down that route. But taking a very quick look at what happened yesterday. As I said, take that off. Brock Faber point. In the first goal, he had an assist on pass to Kaprizov, who got it to Boldy. So Faber point was a win, but sadly, it was my only win of the day. Wasn't the best Friday, so that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Marc-Andre Fleury to record a shutout, only half unit play. Did not allow a goal in the first period, and I was kind of thinking, hey, maybe I got a shot here, but Pittsburgh was able to find some goals. Pittsburgh's domination against the Wild ended in this game, their first regulation loss against the Wild in over 10 games. But as I said, the Wild were going to win this game at any cost. Rangers in Chicago. I did have the under in this game, which was a heartbreaker loss. As I said, as a premium play. Panarin anytime goal. Sadly didn't cash either. He did get an assist or 2 assists, maybe, I believe, but unfortunately did not score. So that kind of hurt overall. And then Oilers and Ducks, McDavid over 4.5 shots on goal. He had three shots in the third period, or heading into the third period, and wasn't able to get 5, even against this Ducks team that gives up shots in bunches. So that's what I get for betting a shot on goal prop singly, because I don't usually do that, and of course it lost. So it is what it is there. Canes and Reg. If you're looking for a single play, then I would probably look at that way. Last night sucked, 0-2 night. Hey, you've been on a heater, Nick, so At least you have been doing well lately. But we'll jump into today's slate. We got 13 games. Some will be a lot quicker than others. And I'm just noticing that there's a lot of games not on here. Um, a lot of games not on here that got deleted when I uploaded them. So thanks a lot, StreamYard, for that. But St. Louis Blues, Buffalo Sabres, St. Louis plus 130 to plus 137. Buffalo Sabres minus 143 to minus 160. Sixes right across the board in this game. Um, quickly looking at goaltenders and see if we have any confirmed. Ukko-Pekka confirmed for Buffalo. Joel Hofer for. I always want to say Joel because of Joel Eriksson, but Joel Hofer. To pretty similar numbers overall. Slight edge with Ukko-Pekka. How these teams have been playing recently? Well, St. Louis has won 5 of their last 6 games heading into the break. 4 of their last 5 games going over. 3 of 4 games going to overtime. So St. Louis has been an over team that's been going to overtime and winning. Buffalo 4-3 in their last 7. 2 over, 1 under, 1 game finished with 6 goals. The Blues 4-2 in the last 6 meetings between the teams. 7 of the last 8 going over 6.5. The only game that did not go over 6.5 finished with 6 goals. So we have seen high scoring games between these teams when they've played in the past. But for me here, no single plays. This isn't really a game I'm all that interested in. Neither of these teams have really done all that well for me this year. And I just don't really have a good feel for this game. So this game, I'm staying off of. Looking at player props here, who has been doing well lately? Well, St. Louis, obviously their top line was doing well, but kind of slowed off the last couple of games, and there wasn't really anybody on St. Louis that has been consistent enough for me. So, not really looking at anyone there. For Buffalo, Dylan Cousins has at least 3 shots on goal in 4 straight games. JJ Paterka has at least 4 shots on goal in 3 straight games. Those are the players I would look at if you are interested in player props. But this game is more of a pass for me. So I'm just going to pass. Sorry, as I'm trying to bring up some more backgrounds that got deleted here. Sabres money line at Tim. Don't know if Tim's here, but I got it at minus 140. All right. All right. Yeah, I really don't have any feelings on the side in this game, but with St. Louis holding that last wild card spot and the Wild only 3 points behind them now for the last playoff spot, go Buffalo. Go Buffalo. I'd like a Buffalo win in regulation. That's important. But we'll move on along to the second game, which I do have a play in this one. We have the Vancouver Canucks heading to Detroit to face the Red Wings. Vancouver minus 134 to minus 150 now. Detroit plus 110 to plus 125. 6.5s right across the board in this game. We've seen a lot of movement. I'm kind of surprised to see Vancouver now at minus 150 here in this game. How these teams been doing recently? Vancouver 10 1-2 in their last 13 games, coming off a 4-0 loss, an embarrassing loss to Boston, and now they're heading here to Detroit. 3 of their last 5 games going under 5.5. The Red Wings 6-2-1 in their last 9 games before the break. 3 of their last 5 games under 5.5. This is their first game since the All-Star break. The Red Wings have swept the Vancouver Canucks in back-to-back years, winning the last 4 matchups between the teams, 3 of the last 5 going over 6.5. And I got this obviously before the line moved. Well, I got around minus 130 for the Canucks. And basically the reason is this Canucks team does not lose back-to-back games. Um, the last time they did that was November 18th. They're 11-0 in their last 11 games after a loss. And the loss against Boston wasn't a shootout or an overtime loss. It wasn't a close game. It was a embarrassing shutout 4-0 loss where they allowed two shorthanded goals. I expect that we get the best effort from this Vancouver Canucks team in this game. Yes, Detroit has played well against them last few years, but this Vancouver Canucks team is far better than we've seen in quite a few years. So I'll take the Canucks here to bounce back um, after that embarrassing loss in their last game. Detroit, this will be their first game in 10 days. We'll have to see how they uh, do in this one. Looking at player props here, Quinn Hughes has a point in 7 of his last 8 games and assist in 6 of his last 8. Elias Pettersson, a point in 5 of his last 8 games. Elias Lindholm, a point in 2 of 3 since joining the Canucks. Dylan Larkin, a point in 12 straight games, a goal in 4 straight games. For Larkin heading into the break, he was on fire. And Lucas Raymond had a point in 4 of the last 5 games heading into the break. Patrick Kane is back from injury, so he'll be starting in this game for the Red Wings. That is a boost for them, but I still like the Canucks here. If you only have access to minus 150, then it would have to be a parlay piece for me, or look at in regulation here in this one. Robert likes Wings money line. Okay, interesting. And the over 6.5. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens when it comes to the total here. Nobody confirmed yet for Vancouver. I'd assume it'd be Denko, but we'll see. Vancouver does play tomorrow, so we'll see. Alex Lyon for Detroit, who was very well heading into the playing very well heading into the break. Moving on along to our third game here, which is between the Calgary Flames and the New York Islanders. Calgary minus 10 or plus 105 to plus 115. New York Islanders minus 126, minus 130, sixes and 6.5s in this game, depending on what you're looking at for the total. How these teams been doing recently? Calgary has won 3 games in a row, 3 of their last 5 going over 6.5. The Islanders 3-2-1 in their last 6 games. 4 of their last 6 games going under 5.5. And the Flames 5-0-2 in the last 7 meetings between the teams. 4 of the last 5 games going over 6.5. So we've seen high scoring games between these two teams in the past. And for me, no single plays in this game. I like the Islanders. I think the Islanders win this game. I don't like the price. I don't like minus 130, minus 126 at Pinnacle, but everywhere else you're looking at minus 130. And I don't really want to pay that price with the Islanders. I don't believe in them that much, but I do think this is a good spot for them. And the Flames are one of a few teams that I think are frauds. I think they are frauds. I do not think this team is going to go on a run. I think Calgary is going to be a bet against team. I think what they've done since the break is a fluke. So we'll see what happens there. The Islanders, I'm not going to say they're for real or they're going to make a playoff run, but I believe in this Islanders team more than I do the Flames. And that's shocking. That's shocking. I don't see why we don't bet the Flames here. They're on fire. LOL. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. They'll probably win because, hey, that's how it goes. But I will not be betting it. Game I am betting on. I do have a play in. We have the Dallas Stars and the Montreal Canadiens. Dallas minus 210 to minus 220. Montreal plus 170 to plus 180. in this game, 6.5s right across the board in this one. And how these teams been doing recently. Dallas 5-1-1 in their last 7 games. 4 of their last 5 games going over 6.5. 3 of their last 6 games going overtime. Montreal 4-3-1 in their last 8. 5 of their last 8 games going over 6.5. How these teams done against each other in the past? Well, Dallas 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. 5 of the last 6 meetings have gone over 6.5. The only game that did not go over finished with 6 goals. Dallas has gone over 7.5 in 4 of their last 7 games. This Montreal team can give up goals in bunches. Give me the over 6.5 here. I think we get goals on both sides in this game. Looking at goaltenders here, Samuel Montembeault for the Montreal Canadiens. Jake Ottinger is not confirmed yet, but I'm assuming he will be playing in this game for Dallas. But really, Ottinger did have that one game where he completely stood on his head, and I hope that's not what's going to happen here. But give me the over 6.5 in this game. Looking at other than that game that he stood on his head, he's been giving up goals, so that's why I'm okay if Ottinger is in there. Wyatt Johnston has at least 3 shots on goal in 6 of his last 7 games, a point in 5 of his last 9. So he's consistent with the shots, but not as consistent with getting a point. Robertson is a point in 11 of his last 14 games, and Matt Duchene and Tyler Seguin both have points in 4 of their last 5 games, both not getting a point in their last game, but had previously. For Montreal, no big surprise here. It's Cole Caulfield for Montreal, a point in 10 straight games heading into the break, and at least 4 shots on goal in 5 of his last 6. So he's been shooting the puck a lot, and he's been getting points. Nick Suzuki has an assist in 5 straight games for the Montreal Canadiens. Jump in the chat. Parlay Stars money line. I could see that. I do think they win this game, but I like the over. Montreal 5 straight at home. Dallas 5 straight in the road. Dallas 7-game streak. Interesting. Oh, goal in first 10. Sounds good to me. The more goals. Montreal 9-2 at the last 11. Okay, to the goal in first 10. Sounds good. Give me like 2 goals in the first 10. That sounds good. Stars puck line. Yeah, you could go that route. I like the total a lot more than the side. But moving on along to our next game, which I like the side in this game, we have the Washington Capitals heading to Boston to face the Bruins. Washington plus 220 to plus 230. Boston minus 254 to minus 280. 5.5s and 6s, depending on what books you use. In this game, how these teams been doing recently? Well, Washington's lost 6 games in a row, and they haven't been pretty losses either. They've allowed at least 4 goals in 5 straight games. They've been giving up 5-6 goals. The Capitals cannot stop the puck right now. Boston coming off that big 4-0 win against Vancouver, but the Bruins 8-2 in their last 10 games, and 6 of their last 7 wins have been by at least 3 or more goals. So the Bruins are not squeaking out wins here; they are smashing teams that they're facing. Boston 8-2 in the last 10 games between these teams. Washington giving up goals in bunches. The Bruins smashing teams when they win. Give me the Bruins puck line plus 100 here. This just seems like a perfect storm here for the Bruins, and the way they've been playing, and the way Washington's been playing lately. Who is in net for this game? Well, it doesn't really matter for Washington. Nobody's been confirmed yet. Actually, let me refresh. Yeah, nobody's been confirmed. Says Charlie Lindgren, who's been the better goalie all year, but he's been getting roughed up lately. Jeremy Swayman unconfirmed for Boston. With Allmark going in the last game, I could see Swayman getting in here in this game. Looking at player props, it's finally happened. Ovechkin is finally starting to show up. He is finally just starting to put the puck in the back of the net. Ovechkin a point in 4 straight games for the Caps and a goal in 3 straight. So, are we finally seeing Ovechkin make his appearance this year? Charlie Coyle a point in 10 straight games for the Boston Bruins. Every show I do when Boston's playing, I'm mentioning Coyle's name, and that's because he's been extremely consistent for the Bruins this year. Brad Marchand has a goal in 5 of his last 7 games. Pastrnak has an assist in 6 of his last 7. And Pavel Zacha has a point in 4 straight games. Pick and choose whatever you want there. I think we get goals by the Bruins. And potentially, this could be a good spot for the team total, which I'm just going to take a quick look here at what we are looking at for the team total. Let me bring this up for Boston. With a 5.5 total, we might actually be getting somewhat of a decent price here. Team total, bear with me. 3.5 minus 125 at 365. Not bad. I might shop around and see if I can get a better price, but I think I think Boston can score 4 goals here. Everyone's been scoring 4, 5, 6 goals against the Caps. Dallas, Montreal, 2 goals in first 10 for Terry. Yes. Let's see it. Plus 240. Hey, I like it. When you're on an over, you want to see goals right away. The more goals right away, the better. Bruins money line is a parlay piece. I like the puck line, but as a parlay piece, yeah, I'd go with the money line. Team total over 3.5 you can get for minus 120. That's getting better. Yes, minus 120, minus 115. If you can get that, that's what I'd go with in this game, other than the puck line. And then player props, whoever you want. We will move on along to our next game here, which is between the Colorado Avalanche and the Florida Panthers. Colorado plus 120 to plus 126. Florida minus 135 to minus 150. Wow, big home favorites in this game. 6.5s right across the board in this game. How these teams have been doing recently? Well, Colorado has lost 3 straight games since the All-Star break. And looking at the Colorado Avalanche, what has changed since the All-Star break? Only one thing that I can really see, and that's signing Zach Parise. And since they've signed Zach Parise, the Avalanche have failed to win a game. Take that for what it's worth. Nick made sure to remind me that Zach Parise scored in the Avalanche's last game. Congrats to him for that, but they still lost. Florida, on the other side, 5-1 in their last 6 games. This team has been hot for a long time now. Back to Colorado, they have lost their last 2 games, 5-3 and 5-2. So the Avalanche are giving up goals and they are losing games. Florida's coming off a 4-2 win against Washington. Florida 5-2-1 in the last 8 games between these teams. Smashing Colorado 8-4 in Colorado. Yes, Colorado is going to want to avenge that. However, wanting to avenge something and actually being able to do it here is a completely different story. And this Florida team has been one of the best teams in the NHL this year. For me, Panthers money line minus 135, right at my cutoff line, but I took it. I don't want to go with the puck line here in this one. So that's why I'm willing to go with the minus 135 for the money line. I like Florida. Um, I know the price is really attractive for this Avalanche team, but I think they're about to go on a bit of a skid here, potentially longer than the three that obviously they've already lost. And Mr. Reinhardt, one game he didn't score the first game after the All Star break, and I'm sure people were thinking, "Hey, this streak's done." Well, Reinhardt said not so fast and scored in his last game. So, yeah, Reinhardt anytime goal is still an auto bet right now. I think it should be minus 120, minus 125, not plus 125 for Reinhardt to score. So, a shocker. I'm on Sam Reinhardt again. For the Avalanche, McKinnon has at least 4 shots on goal in 6 of his last 7 games. So, he is shooting the puck a lot. Reinhardt goal in 13 of his last 15 games. That is why I'm mentioning Reinhardt's name every single show for a long time now. He has a point in 14 of the 15 games. Matthew Tkachuk has an assist in 6 of his last 7 games, and Carter Verhaeghe has a point in 6 of his last 7. It continues to be those three. They are all consistent um, this season. Georgiev in net for Colorado. Bobrovsky in net here for Florida. Better numbers for Bobrovsky, which shouldn't surprise anybody, but there we go. Heading into the chat. IceX is on Capitals money line. Me and IceX are against each other again. But there we go. Cat struggled against the Capitals. Avs money line. I don't know if struggled is the right word. They didn't demolish the Capitals, but hey, they covered the puck line for me, so I'll take it. P's money line. I like it. Caps are banned for life for me. Yeah, they're just in trouble. They're old. They're an old team, and they're kind of stuck with they can't rebuild when they have Ovechkin, and yeah, Caps are they have some dark days coming. This Caps team, some dark days. Reinhardt, of course. Reinhardt money bag. Yeah, yeah. And I'll bet it next game. Exactly. If for some reason he doesn't score here, I'll be on it again in the next game because for me to stop betting Reinhardt, I'm going to need like 3-4 games where he doesn't do it, and then I'll stop because it's just been so profitable. Parlay Nylander and Reinhardt. Nylander finally having a good game in his last game, but he had been kind of d- disappeared previously. So we'll get to that game here in a bit. There is a prop I have, but it's not Nylander. Old and slow parlay, Caps and Penguins laughing. We'll get to the Penguins game here. Interesting too. That's a very interesting game. We'll get to it. And Isles, yeah, Isles are slow too, but there we go. But they're winning, so slow teams can win too. I guess that's the lesson of the day. Moving on along to our next game here, but I have to upload it here. Bear with me. We have the Seattle Kraken heading to Philadelphia to face the Flyers. Up. Seattle minus 105 to plus 100. Philadelphia minus 104 to minus 120 in this game. 5.5 right across the board here. This one, let's see how these teams have been doing recently. Seattle, 2-1-1 in their last 4 games heading into the break. Obviously, they have not played in a while. 3 overs, 2 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Philadelphia has won 2 games in a row. I'm not a believer in this team still. They've lost 5 of their last 7 games. Otherwise, 3 of their last 4 games going under 5.5. So we have been seeing a little bit of a lower scoring effort from the Flyers lately. How these teams done against each other? Well, the Kraken 3-1-1 all time against Philadelphia. Obviously, they haven't played that often um, in history. Three of the 5 games going over 6.5. For me, no single plays here. I want to take the Kraken. I do. I just don't know what to expect from this Kraken team coming into this game. So I want to see them get a game under their belt first, and then we'll see going forward. I just don't know what to expect from them here in this one. We'll see what happens with goaltenders because that could change my mind uh, and make me pull the trigger. Cal Peterson has already been confirmed for Philadelphia, uh, so it'll be his first start in a while. Joey Decord is listed here as unconfirmed for the Kraken. That's what determines if I'm going to be taking this or not. If Joey Decord is confirmed, I will be taking the Kraken. If Joey Decord is not playing and it's Grubauer, I will be passing. So that's how I will tackle this game. Decord, a person I want, a goalie I want to back on. I want to back when he's playing, and Grubauer not so much. And the Flyers are like the Flames, a team that I think are fraudulent, hugely fraudulent. So, sorry to any Flyers fans that are watching. I don't have anything personally against the Flyers, but I think the 5 games that we saw before the break when they were getting smashed, I think that's the real Flyers team. They just somehow are able to put good performances together at times. Oh yeah, there you go. Old and slow parlay, Caps, Pens, and Isles plus 1209. There you go. Cal Peterson and net. What's the scouting report? IceX. IceX says pass. Robert says Kraken. I agree. DeSmith confirmed. IceX is excited about that. I knew the Nucks would be looking forward to the Preds. Wait, the Caps. Yeah, the Caps. Sweating face. So Hoffer is starting for the Blues. I haven't checked, just woke up. Yes, he is. The Flyers beat the piss out of the Jets, literally. Yeah, well, the Jets can't score a goal to save their life. So I'm not that impressed with the Flyers beating the Jets because the Jets just can't score right now. Um, and with DeSmith, hey, it is what it is. I still like the Canucks. I like them to bounce back here off that embarrassing loss against Boston. Yay, predictions came true. We'll see, Isaacs. We'll see. Go Canucks. Go Canucks. But moving on along to a game we were just kind of discussing here. Pittsburgh heading to Winnipeg to face the Jets. Pittsburgh plus 125 to plus 135. Winnipeg minus 147 and minus 155. 5.5s right across the board in this game. Pittsburgh 3-3-1 in their last 7 games. They've gone under 5.5 in 7 of their last 8 games. Winnipeg has lost 5 games in a row and cannot score goals. 5 of their last 6 games under 5.5. The only game that didn't finish with 6 goals. Pittsburgh 7-2 in the last 9 meetings between these teams, and 7 of the last 8 have gone under 5.5. And I really do lean with the under here, and I'm going to regret not taking it. But it is one of the games I've not taken yet. Um, no single plays here for me. But I really want to take the under. I do. And I may end up pulling the trigger because um, everything points to the under here. Hellebuck starting. Tristan Jarry, they're saving him for this game. So I'm probably going to be pulling the trigger on the under as well here. I do just realize that I forgot to mention player props for the last game. So switch back to this one here. Jared McCann, 0.6 of his last 7 games heading into the break. He's the guy I'd be looking at for Seattle. Vince Dunn, a point in 9 of his last 12 heading into the break. And Owen Tippett, points in 4 of his last 5 games. He would be the Flyers player I would be looking at here. back to this game. Player props for Winnipeg. Nobody. Nobody can score or do anything right now for this Jets team. Of course, now that I've said that a couple times, the Jets are probably going to score today, but it is what it is. For the Penguins, Crosby. He has a point in 9 straight games. He just continues to produce. Sidney Crosby. Flightless Birds money line. There you go. I have to add these to parlays now. BRB. Okay. Private Jets money line. Under 5.5. Yeah, that's what I think, Addison. I really do want to pull the trigger on it. Kraken are about to be favored. LOL. Uh-oh, why? Why? But we'll move on along. Yeah, if you were looking for player props here in Pittsburgh Jets, other than Crosby, I've got nothing. So sorry. But we'll move on along here to our next game, which is between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Tampa Bay -170 to -175. Columbus around +145 to +153 in this game. 6.5s when it comes to the total. Do we have confirmed goaltenders here? I don't believe so. Let me go back. We do. Andrei Vasilevsky, likely for Tampa Bay. No big surprise there. And Elvis Merzlikins confirmed for Columbus. How these teams been doing recently? Tampa Bay has lost 2 games in a row. 4 of their last 5 games over 7.5. So the Lightning games have been going over lately. Columbus 3-3-1 in their last 7 games, 2 over, 3 under. 1 game finished with 6 goals. Tampa Bay 8-2 in the last 10 meetings between the teams. That really shouldn't surprise anybody. 5 overs, 2 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. And for me, only one play here, and that's a player prop. Give me Brandon Hagel anytime goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's got a goal in 4 of his last 5 games, and he's been sneaky this year, kind of flying under the radar here, and I'll take him. He's been hot lately. I'll take him, and he's a decent price to score. Other player props here, Nikita Kucherov has a point in 6 straight games, at least 3 shots on goal in 5 straight. Anthony Cirelli, who plays with Brandon Hagel, has an assist in 6 of his last 8 games. And Igor Chinnikov for Columbus has a point in 5 of his last 7 games for Columbus. Looking at the chat here, but not a pen spot. Yeah, it's not a pen spot, but they have played very well against the Jets. So that's something to keep in mind. Tampa Bay money line and the puck line -1.5. They should snap their losing streak and beat Columbus here, but I'll just stick with Hagel personally. If I had to pick a side, obviously it would be Tampa Bay, but no play for me on the side here in this one. We will move on along to our next game, which is the Battle of Ontario. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs heading to Ottawa to face the Senators. Toronto -134 to -142. Ottawa +115 to +122. 6.5s and 7s available in this one. Who do we have in net for this game? Break it up here if I can find it. Martin Jones, likely for Toronto. Jonas Corposalo for Ottawa. Of course, Martin Jones has much better numbers. Corposalo has had a rough season overall for the Sens. How these teams have been doing recently? Toronto, they've won 4 of their last 5 games. When it comes to a total of 7, 2 overs, 4 unders. Ottawa 4-1-1 in their last 6 heading into the break, so they were starting to heat up a bit. 2 overs, 3 unders, 1 game, finished with 7 goals. Ottawa going to overtime in 3 of their last 4. Ottawa 3-2-1 in the last 6 meetings between the teams. 3 overs, 2 unders, 1 game, finishing with 7 goals. I do lean with the over, but not really running to jump on that at this price. I still don't like taking sevens, um, except in extremely rare occasions. But for me in this game, I do have 2 plays, and we're going back to player props here. John Tavares, who had been struggling for the Toronto Maple Leafs for a while, is not struggling anymore. Goal in 3 straight games for Toronto. Austin Matthews has a goal in 6 of his last 8 games. Mitch Marner has a point in 8 of his last 9 games for the Leafs. And on the other side, Brady Tkachuk has a goal in 3 straight games for the Senators. Plus 170 for Tkachuk, plus 190 for Tavares. Shop around. Some books have it around minus 130, minus 125. So depending on what you can get, I like Tavares and Tkachuk both to score in this game. Leafs minus 1.5. I'm back. I just had to add the parlay. Nay, no problem. No problem. Leafs money line minus 135. I would lean with the Leafs, but I'll stick to props. Matthews and Reinhart goal. It could go that way, depending on the price for Matthews. The price for Matthews is usually not very good, so that's why I don't really bet it too much. He's probably like minus 120, especially with a high total here. Yeah, I'll probably pass, but he should score. But I actually like Tavares better at a nice press price. Let's go Jones. So crack and lose. Interesting. My reverse X goalie wins and X team loses theory. There you go. People might think Ice X is nuts, but I've been seeing him win. So his theories are not as crazy as some people might think. Everyone has their own way of doing things. So we'll move on along to our next game. We have got the New Jersey Devils heading to Hartford. No, I'm kidding. Carolina to face the Hartford Whalers. It's Hartford Whalers night. So the Canes will be donning the green and blue. New Jersey plus 135 to plus 141. Carolina minus 157 to minus 162. 6.5s right across the board in this game. Goaltenders here. Kochetkov is likely for Carolina. Nobody has been confirmed yet for New Jersey. Kochetkov had a really rough start to his last game, or a really rough game, and then got pulled. Antti Ranta got hurt. Kochetkov had to come back in, and now it looks like Kochetkov will be starting in this game. How these teams been doing recently? New Jersey's lost 4 of their last 6 games, going over 6.5 in 5 of their last 6. Carolina 12-3-1 in their last 16. So the Hurricanes are turning it on. But on the other side, they've gone under 5.5 in 4 of their last 5. How these teams played against each other in the past: Carolina has taken it to the Devils recently, 10-3 in the last 13 meetings, including the playoff series last year. No edge on the total, 3-3-1 to a total of 6. So Devils going to the over right now. Canes going to the under. No real opinion here when it comes to the total. The side, I do like Carolina. I just don't like the price. But I will take Mårten Necas. Necas to get a goal, plus 220. Yes, I know he just got a hat trick, so it's like, oh, is he really going to score again? But he's got a goal in 5 of his last 7 games, and he has at least 4 shots on goal in 6 of his last 7. So he's consistently shooting the puck. This Devils team gives up a lot of goals. So I think we can get a Mårten Necas goal here for a nice plus price in this one. Nico Hischier has a point in 7 of his last 8 for the Devils. Jesper Bratt, a point in 6 straight games. Nothing for Jack Hughes in his first game back. And for Carolina, Teuvo Teravainen has an assist in 4 of his last 5. Seth Jarvis has a point in 6 straight games. And then I already said Marty Natchez' stats. I'm going to have to quickly mute myself and stop my cam for 2 seconds. I need to plug my computer in. I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. Okay, I apologize about that, but my computer was going to die, and I didn't want to chance it turning off in the middle of the stream. So there we go. He kind of is crazy in his theories. Well, there you go. But it's okay. There you go. As long as you win, or as long as you're, I guess, having fun, it is what it is. Over 6.5 in this game, I would go that way. But the Canes have been going so trending towards the under lately, and I'm worried that Kochetkov comes out here to play and has a good game. So that's what scares me off the over. Devils money line, potentially. Canes money line is a parlay piece. Oh, it's Dave. Woo. Yes. Hello, Dave. LOL. But we'll move on along here. We've got 2 games left. One I have a play on that I like, and then there's this game. The Arizona Coyotes plus 120 to plus 130. Nashville minus 136 to minus 145. Sixes right across the board in this game. And how these teams been doing recently. Arizona's lost 4 in a row. 3 of their last 5 going over 6.5. Nashville has lost 5 of their last 6. 7 unders, 1 over, 1 game finished with 6 goals. So neither team is winning all that much right now. Arizona's going towards the over. Nashville's going towards the under. What's happened in the past? Arizona 5-1-1 in the last 7 games between the teams. 4 over, 2 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. And this game, or it should say pass there, because I don't have any player props. I don't have any plays. This game is a pass for me. I kind of lean with the Yotes, but not enough to pull the trigger here in this one. 13 games on the slate today. Luckily, don't have to bet everyone. And this will be the game that I have absolutely nothing in. I will completely pass. I really do like the Yotes 4th line. And I know that might kind of sound weird, but the Yotes have their young guys on the 4th line. I'm trying to bring it up here. See if it's still the same. Yeah, Logan Cooley, Barrett Hayden, and Dylan Genther is the Yotes 4th line. So I would look at those guys because they are going to be facing, obviously, and not just this game, but looking at them in the future. If they stay together on the 4th line, they're going to be getting good matchups. So those are players I'd potentially look at, but this game's a pass. Yotes money line. Okay. Preds minus 1.5. Okay. Lots of disagreement. There we go. Today's going to be fun. Hopefully. Preds have no depth. Yeah, but do the Yotes? I don't know. I have 12 units on the line for tonight. Whoa, I went pretty responsible on the huge slate. There we go. Well, what about the people that are betting college basketball where there's like, including women's, I think there's like 240 games or something today. So a lot of people will probably be going overboard today. The Smith and net. Yes, it's a little unfortunate, but I wasn't betting Canucks today because of Demko. I was betting Canucks because 11-0 in the last 11 games after a loss. I think the whole team comes to play, and the Smith it is what it is. WTF, LOL. Yeah, I know, a shit ton of basketball games, but I'll be focused on hockey. because we've got a nice slate of hockey. Going into our final game, the last game of the night, and I'm sure we'll have disagreement here too. In this one, if Nick's still around, then there's definitely disagreement. Edmonton minus 120 to minus 130, but let me just refresh and see if we've had a movement here. Okay, yeah, so minus 125 to minus 135, plus 105 to plus 118 for LA. Sixes right across the board in this game. Stuart Skinner confirmed for Edmonton. Nobody yet confirmed for Los Angeles. How these teams been doing recently? Well, Edmonton 17-1 in their last 18 games. They have been dominant. Um, as I said, after they lost that game to Vegas, I really did want to bet against them last night, but the Edmonton Oilers completely own the Anaheim Ducks. And despite the Oilers not playing their best game overall and it being a little bit close, they ended up covering the puck line because that's what they do uh, against the Anaheim Ducks. Los Angeles has lost 4 of their last 5 games and 14 of their last 17 games heading into this one. This will be the first game since the break, and this will be the first game for their new head coach. The issue for me is I don't think doing the coaching change in the middle of the break was a smart idea. I don't think you're going to get the new coach impact that you normally do because it was in the middle of the All-Star break. And the Kings are another one of the teams that I include with Calgary and Philadelphia that I think are frauds. I don't believe in this Kings team whatsoever. I don't think they're as bad as they've been on their 14 of 17 game losing streak. But obviously, with how good they started the season, now they're kind of evening out. I think they're a bubble team. I really do. And everyone and their mother love the Kings this year. Um, I'm just not a believer in them. So for me, give me the Oilers minus 120. Yes, the Oilers played last night, but the Oilers have been the better team by far. And the Oilers, like Anaheim, have played extremely well against LA. 7-0-2 in the last 9 meetings between the teams. They beat LA when they faced the Kings. So give me the Oilers to finish off the night here in this one. They saved Skinner for this game as well. And potentially maybe even looking ahead a little bit to this game. As I said, the Oilers did not completely dominate the Ducks yesterday, but still able to cover the puck line. Let's get a goal score parlay. Goal score parlays, I'd only keep it to 1 to 2 because the last thing you want to do is bet 3 guys or 4 guys and have 2 or 3 score and the other not. So, not really much of a goal score parlay. Super pass, interesting. Wow. Okay, pass. Wow. Okay, everyone's passing. All right. That was a look ahead spot for the Oilers last night, potentially, and they still got the job done. The refs had Oilers in a parlay. They didn't call a tripping penalty on the Bloody Oilers. I'm not going to get started on NHL referees. Um, the Wild won last night, but the referees were completely awful in that game. So I don't blame you, Isaacs, and I completely believe you that there should have been a tripping penalty there because that's the NHL refs for you. Salute Terry. Hello, Kev. Changing coaches got to learn the team. Yes, and we have seen when you change the coach that most teams do get a bump in the first game. But most teams fire a coach and then the team has to play the next day or the day after, not 5, 6, 7 days later. So I think that might change things here. Oilers money line, a lock. Definitely not a lock, but I do like them to win. Under, yeah, we could look that way. Svechnikov is back. There we go. There we go for the Canes. Fade the return of a star player. Okay. 2 parlays better 50% chance to win. Yeah, we could do that. For me, I would go Sam Reinhart. Obviously, I would go Sam Reinhart, and Marty Necas. I really like Marty Necas to score today. You could go with Hagel, Tavares, Kachuk. I like them all. I like them all. Looking at this game for props, McDavid has a goal in 4 of his last 5 games, at least 5 shots on goal in 6 of his last 8. Of course, I bet it yesterday. He didn't get 5 shots. I'm not betting it today, so McDavid's going to get 5 shots. I'm telling everybody right now. Draisaitl has a point 8 of his last 9 games. Zach Hyman has a goal in 3 of his last 4. And the Kings are, again, not being very consistent when it comes to player props. So I am passing. But that's it. That's the whole slate. Less than an hour. Got it done before the game start. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. No show tomorrow. Super Bowl tomorrow. So if you're interested in any of my plays when it comes to player props and for the Super Bowl, that's all going to be in the description or in the Google Doc. So if you haven't checked out the Google Doc yet, it's obviously free and it's in the description below. You just click on it. All my stats are there. And on the player prop section, I will be updating NFL for tomorrow for the Super Bowl. And then my NHL stats will be up for tomorrow's games, but no show tomorrow. Only 2 games, and it's a Sunday. What about Ovi? Don't trust against the Bruins. I don't trust him against the Bruins, but we'll see if he can continue his streak. Yes, definitely Reinhart. Definitely Reinhart. Thanks, Terry. No problem, Addison. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you back again here on Monday for another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Free NHL picks. Best of luck, everyone, today, and we'll see you again.